The situation as is in Kisumu, but our eyes are not just in Kisumu. They are in every part of this country. Our reporters are stationed everywhere in the country as we continue to bring you a wall-to-wall coverage of this repeat poll 2017, a poll that has been boycotted by so many Kenyans. Low voter turnout characterizing a number of the polling stations across the country. We continue to bring you these updates, but before we take a break, let's see how the situation is in Siaya, where I'll take us through what really is happening in that particular polling station.
Well, Akisa, you might call them interesting pictures, you might call them bizarre pictures, you might call them weird, but the truth of the matter is, you can see this is one of what would have been a polling center. It's called Karapul Primary, and you can see they've already killed a dog and they've hung it over there at the gate. And that dog, we understand, was actually killed and put there at shortly after 9, and they've made sure, just like the other places that we were in Bondo and Rarieda, they've made sure that nobody gains access to that particular polling center. We don't know the number of polling stations that would have been actually in there, because a polling center can have multiple polling stations if the August 8th arrangement is anything to go by. Mzee, mbona munaua umbwa mnafungwa kageti lakini sasa?
Okay.
No,
Okay, we were here from like yesterday. Yes. We haven't seen any IBC and any papers coming. So we decided to put this statue here to represent our returning officer from Jubilee, so that they see what is going on. The picture itself displays what you can see.
If you can turn to the right there, of course, there's a heavy... There are police vehicles that are driving in at a very, very high speed. But the fact is, as I said, we are having a group of demonstrators that they are not shaken by the presence, because they are still here, and you can see. So I was asking them, why would you exactly have a dog and hang a dog over there? Why exactly would you put a dog there?
Okay, first of all, you can see it was told from initial time that this election was not credible. It was not fair and free and fair. And there's also some other minimum aspect that was told to be, that was requested by the principal.
Yes. I think we will have to drive with the police just to see exactly what is happening. But as I can see, those are the police officers that are walking in. And that particular direction, if I was to tell you what is happening, they've erected a very huge billboard there that they've actually written on top of it, National Resistance Movement Headquarters. And I think that is the reason why the police have been called in. You saw they were driving in at some supersonic speed, if there is such a word to use in this particular context. But they are really zooming in very fast. Of course, the strategy could be to drive to scare the youth away. But you've seen even with the police pulling up where we were, the youth are not moving. And I think this could be what some of them actually wanted. We've had like 3 roadblocks between this Karapul Primary School and Siaya Township, where they lit bonfires and done all that pertains to making it impossible. And again, Akisa, no public service vehicles or PSVs have been on this road since then. So we're not so sure what will happen, but we'll try and catch up with the police. You'll just have to bear with us, but we are trying to catch up with the police to see if we will be able to exactly see what they will do. If you are able to see the farthest end of this footage, that is where they've erected a very huge signpost, and with it has been written on the National Resistance Movement Headquarters, or the Siaya base. So we will try and see. These are the bonfires, the roads that have been barricaded, that the police, I think they are coming in to try and see if they will be able to remove them. And funny enough is that the youth, they are not actually bothered at all to remove any of the obstacles. Even the police vehicles are being forced to actually drive off-road. So clearly, in terms of paralyzing mode of transport, this is exactly, you can see they are still putting the rocks here. So exactly this is what we are talking about. And Akisa, we will just try and see how far they will go. We want to try and catch up a few minutes, if you'll bear with us. We want to catch up with the police at that corner, because that is where we had the biggest group or the biggest gang of the youth. So we will try to negotiate this particular corner and see. Of course, you've seen behind that lorry, it is full of security personnel who have actually pulled up here. I think they've decided not to go beyond this particular point. So that is what we were trying to say. You look at some sense of defiance in terms of what the youth here, they are trying to do, because they seem not even to be worried or moved by the fact that there's heavy police presence on the ground. So this is where they had actually put up that particular board, and I think they must have taken off. They must have been tipped that police were actually on their case. But this particular place was not passable. But yes, actually we can be able to sight them from far, as the police are also giving chase behind us. So we will try and move to that particular place where we had the NRM, where we had that NRM poster at that corner. And then I think the police, they've gotten more reinforcement. So there are 3 more vehicles that are coming in to reinforce the police. And the corner where we are, past Barack Obama University College, that is a Constituent College of Mombasa Road University, is exactly where we are having the demonstrators. So this is the area where the youth are, yes, and that is it. Actually, we are at the place where they've put a very huge signpost that reads that reads NRM. So this is the place where we've said they've barricaded this particular road, and they are saying that no one should. They've actually cited the police, and that is it. That is the National Resistance Movement, Uhuru Must Go. They've seen the police who've arrived here. They're also driving in with their lorry here. So that is it. So that is exactly the picture where what we are trying to say. So this is what they've been able to put under. That is essentially the picture you get, Akisa. That is why public transport or the PSVs, they've totally kept off the road, because at any obstacle or at any illegal roadblock that you have to pass there, you really have a lot of explaining to do. And this is what I was saying, that this is the place where they've decided to come up and put this huge billboard the middle of the road. Of course, they've clearly labeled it the National Resistance Movement. Akisa, if you are with me, kindly.
Senior political reporter Dan